Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wired Unplugged episode. Well, it's a no-named Christmas spectacular, really. It's me, Jake Kulkowski, and my... Oh, it's just me. Well, this is because I'm recording this ahead of time to make sure that everybody knows that we've got a very special episode coming up this week. We have a Christmas sort of New Year extravaganza. This is the prime week of the year, okay? And if you're listening to this after the fact, because not everybody listens to podcasts when they're right out, so this is going to seem very strange, but don't worry about it. Here's the situation. Between Christmas and New Year, all of our listeners, viewers, going to be full of cheese and wine and festivities, and they're not going to be wanting to move. So we thought we'd do a little recap episode to remind you why you love us. And it's going to be a look back at the best moments of the year. We nearly hit 50 episodes this year. It's been a crazy year, and we're looking forward to 2023. But we wanted to celebrate it all with some of our favorite moments. Some of the bits you might have seen already. If you follow us on Twitter, we've got our own, well, we didn't at the beginning, and now we have our own verified, not one of those rubbish verified ones, like a proper verified account at Wired Unplugged. Gosh, how we've grown. This year saw us talking to the likes of Doug Cockle, Paige Harvey from Special Effects, Mikey Goodman from The Jingles. That's his career highlight. Do you want to listen to this?
Newsweek stole from Google.
What a perfectly distilled career. There we go. We've got lots and lots and lots of things coming up next year too, but we wanted to share this. So hope you're having a really nice Christmas. We'll see you next year, where I'll be joined again by Aaron. At the moment, he's on a trip with the Ghost of Christmas Future, looking at what's ahead. Have a really, really Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you next year for a lot more. Goodbye. Enjoy the best of Wired Christmas Extravaganza, special edition, limited edition, like a festive bake. Bye-bye.
Wired Unplugged.
Go on, Kevin, you go first.
I'll go first. Okay. Well, I'm Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi. This is my first time here. I'm the senior producer at Wired. I help the guys with the production of the games, make sure everything goes nice and smoothly as much as we possibly can. And I help out with the production team.
You look at games, you evaluate games.
Oh, yeah, I add new evaluations and new games that we could potentially launch in the coming years.
Yes, he's also our office encyclopedia for games.
Yeah.
He has been. We've all got nicknames. He's the encyclopedia. This one's the Oracle.
Leo, what's yours?
And yours?
I don't know. I don't really have one.
Not one we
Everyone else has nicknames. You can't have a nickname. You can't nickname yourself. I mean, that's not right. So let's see. But yeah, you've done a few things, Kev.
Yeah, so that's me.
Hi, I'm Jason.
Yeah, hey, Jason.
I'm the operations director here at Wired. I deal with a lot of the organisational stuff, also work on the production side, so oversee a lot of the production, legal, operations, IT, games, a bit of everything I seem to get involved in. That's
when you say operations, not surgery.
No, nothing like that. I can give it a try if you want.
A bit of everything.
I can't guarantee the result, but yeah, I can give it a try.
I'll take a punt.
Good luck. Just a bit of everything I seem to do here, which kind of leads us on.
Which leads to me.
You?
Yeah. Okay. My name's Leo, also known as Mr. Z. Basically. I guess we kind of split the company into two focuses. We've got marketing, publishing, all the good on one side, and then you've got production ops and all the bad on the other side. I look after all the good. So I do all the.
We do all the work.
We bring the fame and glory and the money. You just kind of, we need workhorses, man. So you're the workhorses, and we're the kind of. The glory boys, I guess.
I went on a trip to Amsterdam, and they have this most amazing. It's a joint thing of a a coffee shop, a proper coffee shop, like for actual
It's a
coffee and
joint
cake.
thing.
Proper-
a joint thing. Yeah.
Co-
Coffee shop with
Yeah,
a-
exactly. Yeah,
yeah. Anyway,
Wait, we actually did this the other week. I put out a tweet and it was basically like, "Hey y'all, my DMs are a bit dry. Send me something interesting." I
Or
saw so
cream.
many. I saw so many feet. I saw so many feet. I don't even like feet. Right? That's like the opposite of things. You tell the internet to send you things. You have to be very specific about what you want them to send you, because if you don't, they make assumptions and they are not good ones.
Well, Gary, listen, I'm not going to lie. We did an episode on Martha is Dead, and we spoke about the visual clarity of the game, and I went off on a tangent just as you did, and I was like, you look at the cows and how good the cows look in the game. And now everyone thinks that I have a fetish for cows.
Okay, so I feel
bovine
very responsible for this.
Yeah,
because
and my bovine fetish. Yeah, it's bovine time.
So all I'm hearing from this episode is that you're going to get a lot of cow videos, and things like that, and you are getting so many feet pictures.
I don't even like feet. I don't. If I could replace my feet with like anything,
feet.
skis,
trotters,
roller skates.
How do you feel about trotters, Gary? Let's mix both worlds together. Do cows have trotters?
You know what? It's been a while, but I did enjoy Hoots.
They have hoots.
Hoots.
Yeah. Here we are.
Anyway, we've
gone off the rails already.
Send your feet picture to Gary on Unplugged at wiredproductions.com or DM him on @wired.
I cannot, even for the bit, I cannot emphasize enough how strongly I do not want that.
Yeah, so don't do that, but maybe also do it.
This is
well, yeah. I laughed. My wife's not really into any of this sort of game and stuff. So sometimes I take over the big telly to watch.
The big telly.
I get.
Special day. Happy birthday.
It was my birthday. Yeah, exactly. It was my birthday. So
like the big telly on.
So I ordered a pizza and I had the big telly on to do this, and we had a little chuckle to ourselves because the Call of Duty trailer had a bit of a foot, like, this is kind of like, with all due respect to Activision.
I did. We had a couple. We had a couple. Yeah. The first night we had Italian, and then which was quite funny actually. So Leo, you know what Leo's like?
A real Italian.
Yeah, he's a bona fide Italian.
Yeah.
Not like a Chris Pratt Italian.
Yeah, not one of them. Yeah.
He literally, Leo walks in the office every day and goes, "It's me, Leo," like that. And
yeah. Leo, I'm so sorry
I'm
that
so
happened.
fired.
Yeah,
I'm so fired.
So
anyway, so
we've
done
the Arachnid Theatre. So,
Oh, ironic. Because I hate spiders.
Yeah. You do hate spiders? Oh.
I do. I am terrified
Are you going to be okay?
of spiders.
I don't think they
I think I'll be
spiders.
okay. I don't think there are any actual arachnids in the Arachnid Theater, so I should be okay. But yeah, it is one of those weird things where I've never had a bad experience with spiders, but my fear of them is so intense that I can't even play games. Like, let's talk about like the original Resident Evil, for example, with the giant tarantula type.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't play them straight up. I can't do it. I don't know.
I just like the idea when we turn up and just someone's like, "Oh yes, there are arachnids here in the nest in the corner. They fester."
Oh God!
I don't know why they would be from that region of the UK and talk like that.
Right?
Yeah.
But,
that's your Spider Wrangler accent, is it? So yeah,
it's my Yorkshire Batman. Where are they?
Nice.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Well, yeah. Very, very good. Now, let's get into just real before we wrap Simon Hill, who really does wrap it up with some professionalism, some insight, some nice anecdotes, and a lot of humbleness for somebody who's had such a storied, multifaceted career. However, before that, sexy killers.
Gotta love them.
Okay.
You need some content.
Just going to be honest with you. That's pretty much only one thing anyone's talking about on the internet this week. And it is not Drake's stupid engagement necklace. It is the Game Awards, right?
I do not know about Drake's stupid engagement necklace.
No.
I'm now intrigued.
All right. I'll tell you quickly, if anyone listening at home, anyone wants a bit of this. Drake recently made the headlines by commissioning a necklace, a chain or whatever, that he is entitled this art piece Previous Engagement, and he's made out of 42 engagement rings, each one representing a woman in his life who he was at one point going to propose to but decided not to.
How old is Drake?
He's not 42, so it's not even one a year, is it? I know. Drake needs to get a different hobby, to be
He
honest.
needs to take check of what it means to
To love.
commit.
Yeah, I
and
know.
to love.
How are you
and
going to be an R&B
the
artist
Samaritan.
and be that bad at that sort of thing? Anyway,
I
whatever.
know.
So shout out
I know.
Drake. If you want to come on a podcast and explain yourself.
Rhythm and booze?
Yeah.
And I
Right.
believe you have some very interesting stories to share from the past. Did I hear something about being in jail? What's this about?
Oh yeah.
Delinquents. What's going on? Akim, fill me in. Lloyd's lawyers. Mr. Kaufman was never in jail.
Nah, of course not. No. No, I don't even know, Lloyd, if you remember. This was part of the game story that we did 20 years ago. That we met in jail back then. You and Doug helped me writing it. And part of the story that the two of us, we met in jail, and I liked your sweet lips, and all the true things.
Yes.
Apart from the fact that we didn't actually meet in jail, we did not, did we?
Well, I remember you spent all your cigarette money on me. So
Yeah. It wasn't much though.
Or maybe it was Yale. I went to a university called Yale, which
We know Yale.
Yeah.
Do you know what? No one ever asks me that, so that's caught me off guard. I am okay. I am melting in the heat. But I'm all the better for seeing both of your faces. So what more could I ask for? Mike, are you keeping good?
I'm feeling all right, thanks. Yeah. I'm not as hot as you are. It seems to be affecting you a lot.
Well,
Mercy.
I don't know. So, speaking of which, he best not edit this out. I got to meet Curtis for the first time in person at the event, and I had to do unspeakable things just so that he would not edit me incorrectly in this podcast going forward. He said, "I can reduce your talk time down to nothing," and I was like, "You can."
He holds all the cards, doesn't he, Curtis?
Because we also
sweet.
Yeah, because we also had a conversation as well. And it's like, I'm not naming names, but someone talks a lot, and I was like, "Yeah, it's me," and it. It's like, fine. I'm just going to keep things very basic from now on. So one word's all the way now. So Jake, what have you got a question for me?
Yeah. Did you enjoy the party?
All right. Before you get into the madness of what you're about to say,
Okay.
The one thing that I don't think I've told you, but I'll explain this a bit more. At the time, just before we had that conversation, I was going through an incredibly tough personal time. And, when you're having those dark times, you can't really sleep, your head's not in the right space. And I would sit on the little spinny chair that I had with my cat, and I would just watch your videos all the way through the night. And all the things that you folks did together, it kept me going. And I really appreciate it. And the fact that we've got to become lovers. Friends.
Yes. Hey, why not both? You can't be one without the other.
I realized I was touching your arm.
Oh, no.
I was like,
Touch
no,
away.
I love you, and I'm glad we're on this journey. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. No, this has been wonderful, and that extends to the whole crew to just bring me into your family without even having met me. And so, it was basically that year a party house. And so
What did we do, Ash?
Well, we also they also invited two lovely people, collectively known as the Nintendo Power Couple, who you may have heard of on YouTube, Felia and Danny. And so that we were all together, and we had a night that we like to collectively dub funsies in our onesies, right?
Yeah.
And so there were four Nintendo themed onesies that we all we all donned. It was I think Mario, Luigi, Yoshi,
Luigi,
Donkey
Kong, and Yoshi was given to me for my birthday.
Right.
By Danny and Felia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we donned these onesies and
Looking great.
Looking great. We looked
fantastic.
We looked awesome. Yeah. Not weird at all. And we got it. I think this is your idea. And we got into playing Mario Kart 8. And for those of you who have not played Mario Kart, it's Mario Kart, but as we all know, you don't drink and drive. So the whole point is you have to finish a beer before you cross the finish line, and you want to try to be first, but then the question arises, do you try to pound the beer at the beginning and then go for it and try to catch up? Do you just play and then, get off the side of the road at the very end and then pound your beer? What do you do? Do you have a combination? And so it becomes that. And we very quickly
We
got
very quickly
quite
got
inebriated.
sideways.
Yeah.
And because of how fast those Mario Kart races were, I think we were 200cc at the time, so it was like blink of an eye.
Was it 200?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were thinking.
Well, I don't know if you remember the night now.
I know, right? I do remember one specific part. Well, go ahead. You might be talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because it was very fast, those races
Yeah.
were fast. We ran out of drinks very quickly. So then the four of us, dressed as Mario, Donkey Kong, Luigi, and Yoshi, are roaming the streets in the back end of Boston late at night trying to find beer, and we look absolutely fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
And that was an experience. And then we're trying to jump into an Uber, and
Yeah.
the guy's like, "What the hell is going on?" It's
Yeah.
all cool. We're fine. We're all fine. We're on the level. We just need to find some drink. Okay.
And bless him,
Okay.
he completely played ball. I mean, he thought we were f***ing weird, man. But and I can say that because this is a 13+ panel. But no, I mean, you could tell he was like, "What have I gotten myself into?" But he played along, and you know, he's somewhere out there in Boston, assumedly still. That man was a hero that night. He got us to our liquor store, got us more drinks, kept the party going, even though we were in our onesies.
Yeah, and this is right now why I'm really appreciating the banana guy at the back there.
Oh yeah,
I
met him earlier.
The banana guy was asleep then, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's like. So that's
Not that, I'm sure that's no reflection of your story. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that honestly.
The argument on our side has always been this: we're never, even 4.5 years ago, even at Gamescom, actually in 2019, we had the face ripping scene on camera. You know, it was part of the very first demo that we showed everybody. And okay, everyone said, "Wow, that's cool. That's a bit strong." But again, when you describe the story and everything else, and everything's in context. So, and even our first trailer, we put the face cutting scene. So we weren't ever trying to shock. This game has never been about here's some really scary moments, but we're going to use them right at the end just to go bush and get people talking. And it was never about that. We said from the very first, from the get-go, this is an adult-only game. This has strong adult themes. It's not for everyone. It's an 18-rated game. We've been rated by every rating body, and it passed through. In fact, Germany gave us a 16. You know, because obviously, you know, face ripping is normal in Germany. You know,
It became normal over the past 25 years or so.
I'm thankful for it because
I'm still not over the fact that we got a 16 in Germany.
Go out on a Saturday night for a pork knuckle and a face rip.
No, seriously, I grew up. I mean, I'm not that old, right? And in Germany, I grew up with like horror movies, like I don't know, even not a horror movie. Talk about Peter Jackson's Bad Taste or something. Purely a comedy with a lot of gore in it, but gore made for $10 or something. And the movie was it was cut down by like 25 minutes or something. I think it went 65 minutes in Germany, and then it was even banned or something. So sorry, I had to just.
But you're well versed in it now. So face cutting is there's face cutting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now it's a 16. Yeah, give me more.
What's the little town of Marville?
So the little town of Marville reaches over, grabs copy that's actually just over there. Oh, wow, there is one. Oh, that is lucky. There we go. The little town of Marville is my children's novel that Puffin was good enough to publish back in 2019. It's the start of a series. We eagerly await the other installments being commissioned. But that is the reviews that we've had in from Starburst Magazine and the South China Morning Post, which was a bit of a surprise. I didn't know the book was available in Hong Kong, but it turned out it was. And got a bloody rave. People have been really nice. They it gets comparisons to Roald Dahl and H.P. Lovecraft and Terry Pratchett, and these are three of my favorite things in the world. So I'm delighted. And it's like I wanted to write a kid's book that was exactly the kid's book I wanted to read when I was a kid, and I always liked bad guys really getting theirs. And I liked sinister weirdos who weren't always bad. And I liked, extreme cartoon violence. And so I wrote this book where there's a 14-year-old girl called Aubrey's sister because her father won't give her a name, right? And and her little brother Aubrey, and they get involved. They're pursued for their lives by a street gang because two cosmic pensioners appear out of nowhere, grind their father into mince, and then they eat him. So you know, it's the best kids book to start with cannibalism. It's bloody terrific. You know,
very good. No,
yeah, thank you. Yeah, we've just like people when they write the reviews for it. The best one I've seen is somebody who went, "Warning, contains mild cannibalism."
Mild cannibalism is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, it's a lovely thing. And also, like, I wrote it because I was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, I think this is funny. I think it'll be all right." I gave it to the publishers. We had a meeting. It was a good meeting. They brought us in, and the head of Puffin, who has seen thousands of kids' books, said this was one of the nicest sentences I've ever heard. She went, "John, we have all read your book to our children. All of our children agree that the scene where the kids eat their father is the funniest scene. They like that very much. Please, John, please edit that scene so the children enjoy eating their father slightly less. We just want to sell the book to the Americans, John."
Very, very good. So are we propaganded out? That is like...
Yeah, I'm done, mate. I'm spent.
You've ended it on that like pretty interesting little thing. Okay, so look, I'm gonna pray that Curtis does his thing this time again, and we're gonna move on to the.
You know what? No. I'm gonna make a request. No jingles, just duck noises. Duck noises in between every segment. Just ducks. Go.
Okay, you ready? What will the ducks sound like? Right. Theme is the world at large. All right, the news at large. Okay, go. This is the segment of the podcast where we look at the
and I don't know if we actually had. This is a little behind the curtains for the viewers and listeners at home. That last week obviously we didn't have any of the jingles. And then we kind of mockingly halfway through the show said that we should put ducks in because that would be funny.
Yeah.
And then I walked out the booth and Curtis was editing, and he was like, "Really, ducks?" I was like, "Yeah, you're doing it. You're putting the ducks in."
He questioned it. Yeah.
He questioned, and we went back and forth, but he eventually put them in because he knows what's good for him.
He understood the conceptual genius.
He got the report in, and we actually had to turn down the ducks. The initial ducks were too loud and too shocking. I know that's a weird sentence to say.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you the video. I don't think I did, but the first edits of the teaser clips that he sent over, the ducks coming in between the segments were so loud and so short and so sharp that they were basically jump scares. It was like an accidental pre-Halloween duck. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, but basically. So a little bit behind the scenes there, but we live in the world where you can have an hour-long discussion about the loudness and volume of ducks on a podcast. So there you go.
Ducks don't compromise. Everybody knows that. That's what they're known for.
Look at me now, Mum. You wondered where I'd be.
Do you want to know the worst bit? This is putting myself out here a little bit, but I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm not. I like it, but I'm just not that into. I'm into. When I was growing up, it was Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, and I'm wizards all day, basically.
Yeah.
I know that the Jedi is basically space wizards, but that their means of doing their magic and that is all a little bit too high tech for me. So I'm more of a Gandalf man, if you know what I mean. But I think now here's the real sin. Okay, this is the cardinal sin. I have seen Star Wars Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. I have never seen 5 or 6.
Why?
Well, there's a reason why. Here it is. When I was younger, when I was about 9, the first film came out in it. So I watched 1, 2, and 3. And then I was interested, so I watched 4. But then I've never really caught them. It's kind of before streaming service and stuff. I didn't have one. And then by the time those things were available, Star Wars still wasn't on Netflix or anything like that.
Positive, but just on the Harry Potter subject, I've never read or watched Harry Potter. I am completely
Whoa!
yeah.
Dude, what the hell?
I am a really Are we allowed? We are allowed.
Yeah,
to
we're
swear,
allowed
right?
to swear. You can do
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep forgetting.
I think
keep
everyone at home
forgetting.
swore when they found out that news. They were like, "What the?"
No. But I'm just a really Brit, to be honest. I don't like tea. I've never seen Harry Potter. I've never read Harry Potter. Like honestly,
Gary, what the hell?
I know. It's, but it's not for want of trying.
No.
Don't get me wrong. I know that you know the whole Harry Potter universe is kind of fallen into a little bit of
Controversy?
people have
Yeah.
controversy. People have fallen in and out of love with it based on the content creator. Some people can separate art from the artist. Some can't. That's how it goes. But for me, when Harry Potter started kind of kicking off and people were really getting into it, I was a little bit older because I'm a little bit dated, and at that point I was knee deep in Terry Pratchett novels and the Discworld series. So people were coming going like, "Oh, you should check out this Harry Potter stuff, right? Like it's about this kid and there's this school full of magic and wizards." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not the Unseen University, though, is it? Really? Like, it's not."
Yeah,
I've got that kind of genre covered in spades quite a bit
Yeah.
here. And by the time it got big, I was like, I'm like 30. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the
Yeah.
30-year-old getting into Harry Potter. Like that's
Right.
that's a
on.
weird look. So you know what? If that's your bag, by all means, love it,
Yeah.
adore it. But I've never been into the scene.
If
should
you'd
we
like
say.
to, dear listener / viewer, based on psychoanalyzing Gary, which is now gonna put you under a harsh spotlight.
Ooh.
If you'd like to guess Gary's house, you can email.
Actually, you know what?
Normally, going crazy with post production effects is the role of our video editor.
Segue. You've met him.
I
You've
have
now met him.
I have
You've
now.
had the
I
pleasure.
have now met my idol. They say don't meet your idols, but I met Curtis,
And
he
it's
was,
true.
He was lovely. He was basically like Beyonce, man. He was just so
Yeah.
gracious and chill. So yeah. So the story
You're always
is this.
doing this for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something about so no, I
It's either a royalist or a Beyonce fan. I don't know.
yeah, bad time for that, I think. So at the moment, he's him and Steve were on. Well, let me start from the beginning. Where did I meet Curtis? Well, not in some pub in the Midlands. No, that would have been good, to be fair.
Yeah.
So the truth is,
And that's some good places, mate.
yeah, I was at. Well, unfortunately, I was at the gentrified south of England, and I was at EGX, where there was EGX is like the UK PAX for anyone who's listening who isn't from the UK. EGX is it the largest gaming convention in the UK? I think it still is, isn't it?
The biggest differentiator is instead of it being PAX, it's EGX.
That's literally over the
Scientific.
It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
Deep dive.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah, 2 letters are different. I was at EGX over the weekend, checking stuff out. Quite a pleasure for me because I'm normally working at these things, but I just thought of, fancied a bit of a jolly, to be honest. So me and my mate went to EGX, and I found the Wired booth, and there was lots of people I recognised there, but no Curtis. And Curtis then tweeted me saying, "I'm starting to think that Wales isn't a real place. Jake is a mythical creature." But no,
And you are.
Well, yeah, but also, I do exist really, and me and well, actually, I was just leaving just as I was leaving, I'd given up hope. And then on the horizon, like Gandalf, you know what I mean? Coming to my house.
Born of the second day, look to the east hall.
Exactly. I saw a glorious grey beard. Sorry, Steve. And it was Steve and Curtis, and we got a picture together, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was quite funny because I don't want to cast any assumptions or anything like that, but Steve's accent. Well,
I do.
Well, they popped bloody Wired. You lot were next to the Peaky Blinders thing, and I thought they're just putting all. What are they doing there? What are they trying to say?
Midlands massive.
You're just
Midlands
popping
massive.
us all in a corner
Yeah.
with flat caps and that. I didn't like that. But other than that, it was no, it was great. It was nice to meet Curtis.
Steve looks good in a flat cap, by the way. He rocks it.
I
don't think he has the razor blades in there, but
yeah, like I said, don't.
He has the razor blade on his logo of his shirt.
Exactly. He keeps
The
that thing on him, baby.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I've got to say, I met Curtis, and he was very, very lovely and nice, and said nice things about me. I don't think he said anything nasty about you though, so that's progress. More on that to come. You know, there might be a chance for you to. We'll see. So that was my time in real life with our fantastic video.
Did you ever watch Paul O'Grady? Right, Paul O'Grady used to have a show on ITV.
The Lily Savage guy.
Lily Savage guy, yeah. So he used to have a show that he would host as Paul O'Grady. It was having a show, and he would have this off-camera producer who was called Bert that he would always argue with off-camera that he never knew existed or not. I feel like this is Curtis, but we now have proof that Curtis is real. And it's not an AI memory unit.
It's an algorithm doesn't edit this. Just a destructive machine in human flesh. So there we go. Curtis, thank you very much for your service. It was great to meet you. Woo!
Curtis is amazing.
Okay. Get on with it. Hola.
Hola.
Hello.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Está bien?
Yay. ¿Sí? I wish I could speak Spanish. I love it.
So do I.
It's great, isn't it?
I've probably just offended an entire nation.
Yeah, exactly. Italy are fuming right now. They're like, what about us? You've got enough representation in this podcast to back off Italy. Anyway, great start. This is a horrible start. This is like the UN, but in reverse. We're waging World War III. Welcome to episode 29. Jake and Aaron start World War III. Hey guys, they've made the second movie, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I haven't actually seen it yet. I am going to go and see it this week, but I haven't yet. I was wondering if you have, and if you haven't, then we'll move swiftly on. To be honest,
I haven't seen it, but I am going this weekend to see it, and it's all about Jim Carrey. That's the only reason I'll go and see it. Is it's Jim Carrey. Have I froze again?
You have, yeah, but
yeah,
we'll just wrap it up and then.
Okay.
We'll keep you.
This
is first of all, this is amazing. Right. Hang on a second. I'm really sorry to do this. My door's ringing, and I think it's my daughter trying to get in. So I'm not going off to Google sausage in 50 languages. Okay.
Cheats.
Just give me 1 second. I'm ready. Sorry about that. My daughter's just like. All right. And sorry to you, Curtis, editor of the year every year. Okay, sausage in different languages. Is this the game?
Yeah, and you have to both guess which language it is. You get one guess each. I might help you along the way.
Okay.
So we're going to start nice and easy.
All right.
Saucisson colère.
French.
Yes.
Yeah. The accent.
Guten Durst.
Yeah.
German.
Yeah. Okay. Goussemain sausage.
Hey, are we going one each, or are we?
Yeah, how's this? Is it fastest finger first?
Fastest finger first.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm 2-0 up then.
Yeah.
Goussemain sausage.
I can't hear that one. Spoke that.
Goussemain. Dutch.
Nope.
Spanish.
No, it's Hindi.
All right.
I thought I'd throw something in a bit more.
Never gonna
Okay.
guess.
All right.
Quavers.
Quavers.
Quavers. Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored again. No.
Denmark.
Nope.
Greek.
Nope. It's Afrikaans.
Okay. All right.
One more.
Yeah.
This one might be easy, but if not, we'll see. Ocotteru sausage.
Italian.
That sounded Italian, no, did it? It did sound Italian.
That sounded Italian.
No, what's that? That's
I want to get one.
Portuguese. I don't know.
No, okay. So you both got it wrong. I'll make it a bit easier based on your new moniker. Sausage-san.
Oh, Japanese.
Yay!
Oh my god.
All right, okay.
And there we go.
Well,
that is
sausage wins.
Trip around the world.
Yeah,
sausage wins.
That was. I think that was 4-1 to you.
4-1.
Yeah.
Sausage.
I got 4.
That was a beat down. Yeah.
How much I win?
You win a copy of Arcade Paradise, my friend.
Yeah. Do you know, I can't wait for that title.
I had a really tough mental image in my head then. I thought, if Wired did have a cannon, what would it fire out of it? And then I thought, well, the logo's razors. And then I thought, a razor blade cannon. That sounds badass.
It'd be KFC. Let's be honest.
That Kentucky Fried Cannon. Yeah.
KFC for everyone. Why not?
Imagine firing out razor blades out of a cannon. That's such like an anime thing.
It'd be kind of like, I don't know if they still do this, but when I used to live in Birmingham in the Midlands, there's the Birmingham Bull Ring. And then right at the bottom, there used to be a Krispy Kreme. and at certain times on the day, they'd light the bat signal of the Krispy Kreme sign, it'd spin around, and that'd be the beckoning call to come and get a free donut, a free original glazed donut. Just because, I don't know why they did that. I think it was just,
was it to lure people in before shooting them with a cannon full of razor blades? Because otherwise, I don't know how this ties in.
It's kind of like, come to Watford at like 12:35 every Friday, and you get some KFC.
The firing of the Kentucky Fried Cannon. Yeah. There
Kentucky
it is.
Fried Cannon.
Yeah.
KFC. Yes.
There we go.
We need to have a word with them again.
That's it. Well, that's what's not going on at Wired this week, unfortunately.
The whole idea in creating these entertainment games started very early on. I think we started in the garden playing James Bond and Star Wars with our video cam stolen from our dads. And I think that's where the whole thing started, to make cool entertainment products, which led to starting a company later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to hear, because you don't often get like siblings that start a business together. Me and my sister can't even make Christmas dinner together without arguing. So, but I suppose you guys literally don't know anyone else as close to you as your own brother. So it's a really cool thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. So it's no secret then that you guys make games for a living, and specifically a game called Deliver Us the Moon, which originally launched way back in 2018 and has since then launched on PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox. Got some more launch news on the way, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But for those who are unfamiliar with the project, how would you describe Deliver Us the Moon? What would you tell the people about the game?
Yeah, it takes place in the future, so it's especially with an environmental message in mind. When if we use all these resources on Earth and we depleted everything, this game really takes place at that point. And because we really love the whole space and going to space and the more realistic vibe to it, the realism, the hard sci-fi, space place, we thought like, well, why not make a game out of, what would happen if a future like that would exist, and what does it look like? And and on the
It's very grounded. So it's a very grounded sci-fi adventure game woven into this narrative. It's just something very close to the heart. Like our granddad was somebody who made telescopes, and we said like, okay, why not make a game about kind of like what is further, what's the next step, what is the next frontier, and that's space for us. And that was something so cool to create and story. Like, we couldn't be astronauts now, or at least we didn't chose that path. We said, okay, but we can make a game how it feels like to be an astronaut, and that's kind of in the heart of the whole game, is what is it to be an astronaut?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about what one you're talking about. Hold on.
Don't know if we could.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, we haven't moved to propaganda yet, have we? No, we're in propaganda.
Yeah, but we haven't moved to this. We haven't moved to this brand new section, which is kind of what it's regarding, and it's regarding questions, right? That's the important propaganda to get out of the canon, isn't it?
Yeah. That's like, whoa. Yeah, it is interactive. I've had a week.
Yeah. There's a book going around.
Have I ever told you the 2 rules to entertainment?
Don't talk about entertainment.
No. There are 2 rules to entertainment. Number 1 is always keep your audience wanting more.
Yeah.
Don't even ask it. Just don't ask number 2. Don't ask it.
You know you want to, don't you? That's Bob Monkhouse. He was very clever.
Bob Monkhouse, yes. Yes, he was.
But you really want to ask the second one, don't you?
I do actually.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So then, naturally, you got your home console, a Nintendo 64. There's going to be a Pokemon game on a Nintendo 64. My mind exploded with possibilities. It's going to be like Ocarina of Time, but and also you play with your friends on that. Like, you trade. What happens if I could trade with other players? Well, hey, look, there's 2 controllers on the N64. Maybe I can play with. I thought of this when I was about 9. I was like, how good would this game be? I thought of that 22 years ago or something like that, and now it's actually happening. Like, my daughter is older than I was when I had this idea. Yeah. So,
Like,
so that's such an odd concept. Now, look, I'm not going to go into it. I'll tell you why. I tried to explain cassettes to the youngsters last week, and I got memed on very hard. And then there was some, how to say this diplomatically, some 30-plus-year-olds on Twitter discussing in depth the cassette tape thing and how I was actually wrong, and you can have about 90 minutes per side and stuff like that. So that's the last time I try and help the youth. All right. So I think I'm just going to stick to like buying things on Bandcamp from now on.
What did you like in a cassette too? Was it a waffle, a flat waffle of data or something?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not even going to try and do the floppy disk. Like, just get out of here on that one. I was trying to help, okay? But yeah, no, yeah, absolutely wicked.
Padding out my my classes with the art credits, and like one of the things was you had to make like 16 pieces or something. And it was just like, all right, well, the oil paint was kind of fun. It's like the textures are neat and like the colors are really bright. It was like, yeah, I don't know. It was just like, you're also just like because I'm probably like the psychology behind it is probably like thinking about it now, like 20 years later, it was probably just like, well, all these like great painters were using like oil paints, and I'm just like a teenager, right? And I'm like, well, obviously I have to do like this create this highbrow art. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're just an idiot.
Yeah. Someone's starting their
Like
first DJ set on vinyl.
My grandmother was like a great painter, and she always used watercolor and acrylics. Like, it was just that. Part of it was probably just like, yeah, you got to use solvents, man, and you gotta
the prestige. Yeah,
thought it was like the badass thing for an artist to do. You gotta like get it on you, and you gotta use like solvent to get it off.
Thank you very much for satisfying my curiosity. One of the things I wanted to ask regarding that then was, just a little bit more about the process, especially for people listening who might not have an understanding of it. When you're offered a role, you've kind of alluded to it already, you don't really have time to spend drawing up inspiration and taking in lots of things for weeks through osmosis and things like that. So what would be like the kind of standard procedure for somebody reaching out to you and saying, we want you to voice a character? Is it like a months in advance? Is it weeks? How does it work often?
It really depends. It depends on the size of the developer. It depends on the size of the game, whether it's a small indie developer or a AAA developer. I mean, it's all kind of similar. Sorry, excuse me. I mentioned before, Jack, I've got a little bit of a cold, so got a little bit of a frog in my throat as well. Usually what happens is the developer or a voice production studio who works with the developer will get in contact with my agent, who will then get in contact with me and say, hey, Doug, these guys are interested in working with you. Are you interested and available? And and then I say yes or no. And I normally say yes because I like to work. I have said no on occasion to work if it was something that I felt compromised my own ethical stance, as it were, or if I felt that I was being cheated. I did that recently. It wasn't for a video game though. It was for something that it was a corporate thing, and it was the copy that they shared with me was very clearly a commercial, and they weren't calling it a commercial, and they were only wanting to pay me a really low rate, and I just knew that it was something that I should be getting 2 or 3 extra zeros on the end of it for. And so in the end, I had to say no. I won't do this because I know you're pulling a fast one.
Fast one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But normally what happens is they get in touch with me through my agent, and then if I like what I see, I agree, and then we go from there. Occasionally, a developer will reach out straight to me via Twitter or something else and just say, hey, Doug, we've got this project, and we're really interested in talking with you about this. and then I'll go back and say, right, tell me more, well, fine. Eventually it'll have to go to my agent, because this is the beauty of having an agent as an actor. Students often ask me, do you have to have an agent to be an actor? I say, no, you don't, but it really helps, because if you have an agent, then they talk the money.
Yeah.
So it it leaves you sorry.
You're absolutely fine here.
If the agent can talk money and you don't have to, then you can just get on with being the artist and do the stuff you do well.
Yeah.
So-
Do you know, once I did exactly the same thing where I applied to be like a waiter at like a Pizza Express, and it was like a 1 hour round, like a 1 hour bus there back in the day. And then it was like, this is a job for head chef role. And I was like, no, it's not. And they were like really weird about it. So I thought, all right, fine. So I lied all the way through the interview and was acting like I was the best chef ever. And then
I can make a roof.
yeah. No, I just said I had loads of experience and that, and then and just because they wasted my
Cooking
time, so I
mama.
wanted to waste theirs. And then they gave me offered me the job, obviously, and I was like, no, haha. So shouts out Pizza Express Chester about 14 years ago. Anyway, this was the Wired Propaganda segment. We've gone well off tangent, but we've gone so off tangent. Like I'm gonna reel it back. I'm gonna re-jingle. I'm gonna re-jingle, which is
The starting point was long conversations with Thomas to get a feel. That was the first thing, to understand the world, because I realized I wasn't just scoring a hero's journey. A single player game is often a hero's journey, as Thomas has said, and I wasn't doing that. I was creating audio for a whole world. I was helping to add to their cultures and to give it a sense of depth. So I think we knew pretty much from the start, didn't we, Thomas, that every area, kind of main town, was going to have its own music and ideas. It was pretty early on we made that decision, and we found that brought the world alive in a way that I think focusing on a single motif for the player and all that kind of thing wouldn't have done. So invested a lot of time in playing around with weird instrument combinations, trying to create a sense for the world, and trying to I didn't want the music to feel like it was just conceived for this game. I wanted to try and make it feel like there was a history to the music. So these different factions, I kind of went, okay, let's say that these people here, they live in really tall shapes, so tall structures. So what instruments would fit into there? Okay, well, how about organ? I can imagine an organ pipe that's going up there. But I know from their history that they're not as strong and as great as they used to be. So I'm going to make it more echoey, more kind of broken a bit more, and and then I'm going to think, well, hang on, I don't want to use large bells in their building because we've used bells to signify other things in the game. So what other large thing could they have that is kind of a calling signal to their faction and to their people? And I went, well, how about giant strings? And that's when I decided to get a bass sitar and completely detune it and put it right down to make it into a big resonating string. And I played around with a lot of stuff, and Thomas was awesome because he was open to all of it basically, and he let me go crazy with stuff. I mean, he was quite key. Well, from the very start, he wanted Mongolian singing in it. That was kind of that was the bedrock. He was like this kind of, that was the, I think, like first conversation we ever had. He was sharing with me like examples and clips of it. He said, you really wanted this, and so I kind of went, okay, right. And I made that. Basically, that's the sound of the Ursea, which is the great expanse of water that everybody is flying over and kind of fighting over kind of territory command, or trying to escape in some cases. And I took that and I mangled that up some, and that's sort of the bedrock. Everything else is built upon or musically comes out of. So that was the main kind of sound for the world that's the way I did it, really.
No, that's very good. And Mongolian throat singing is definitely I guess I might
it's getting used a lot these days in games. It's becoming quite a cliche.
Yeah, when we were into that, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and like something like that.
Everyone says Hans Zimmer's a trendsetter.
Yeah,
Go here.
yeah. No, I've noticed a lot.
It's been quite a magical journey for everyone involved, especially even for myself when we sat down and we sorted about the radio stuff in the game. So my number one moment was like, if we need to add more atmosphere to the world. And what I did in the 90s, not that I'll name my age because it would just upset you further, is I did that thing of pretending to be a radio host, like recording onto a tape.
Yeah.
And just doing silly skits, and it went round my school at the time, and everyone was like, "This is really fun. Can I have a copy of this?" So I was copying all these, and everyone just thought it was the most genius thing ever. So
the question is, how did you copy it? Was it on cassette tape, or like CDs that you burnt, or like
no? This was
MP3s?
cassette tape.
Pause button.
Yeah. So I had, for whatever reason, I just had a double cassette tape player. And so I just forgot that. It also obviously it had a microphone, which I think is quite rare for. So anyway, and then I would just record them. But so I was just doing copies of my silliness on a tape, and that was I jokingly messed about, and you obviously need a name for your radio station, so I called it Radio 802. So when we
I didn't realise that. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we did the grindstone, which is the radio in the game, I was like, it needs to have I'm going to immediately get in there. But also, like, every American, in my mind, every American is like, The Voice, 103 The Voice. Do you know what I mean? Just like some really generic, like, The Slam or whatever. So I was like, we've got to do that. And then it was obviously working with the incredible soundtrack, and then be like, right, okay, 90s radio DJ. They would want themselves to be, first of all, they had to be Scottish in my mind. I don't know why. I just wanted.
We need to represent Scotland. We've got a lot of Scottish people involved in the game.
Yeah, we do. And I felt like an American accent for me wouldn't quite do. I wanted a character that was completely out. Why would this Scotsman be in like little town America? The equivalent of Springfield, as we're trying to say. But I always thought that the DJ should be so. It's because back then the DJs were here. Do you know what I mean? They were pop stars, and they were,
and they had mics like this.
Exactly, yeah. And they didn't sound as good as you, though. Let's be honest with the
yeah. So I'd say more on the indie side, you tend to get a lot more communication. With the AAAs, obviously they're a lot busier sometimes, and they might have a lot larger kind of community to look after or something like that. So it does feel more kind of intimate with the indie game developers and stuff, which is a nice thing, it's you kind of feel a part of the family, with the indie developers and stuff. So
I guess with AAA as well, I mean, that's kind of how they got their name AAA though, right? Because the work life is just
yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna leave now, but it was
really
good to be back.
That's really good. Yeah.
It's not Jake.
No,
don't
that's
encourage
good.
me, mate.
Yeah. No, I've got to. That's good.
And I know you guys are going to hate me for this. And I said, you apparently are like this. Yeah? But I've kind of like joined an NFT community, and it was kind of weird because and obviously it's been in the works for a long time, being partnered with GameStop, and they're kind of doing this kind of NFT thing, So I knew about it. Oh, God knows how long ago, And but it's just took so long to kind of get the wheels moving anyway. So that got announced the other day. And it's funny, because obviously I know it's a funny industry, NFTs. Like, what are they? Wait, what do they do? They even confuse me, and I do them. And it's like, what? So I just do a piece of art, put it on here, and then like I don't know, people bid for it or something. All right, cool, whatever. So I'm sort of dabbling in that area, and it's funny because the reaction is, congratulations, poor way, and then the other side is like, we hate you, like we hate you.
Yeah, so for the audio listeners there, Pope is brandishing the Wired Productions NFTs sticker.
Exactly.
Not available anywhere because PAX stopped us giving them out.
I always get all the exclusive stuff, me, man. So
Yeah, exactly. So you've got that. You've got that, and
should wear it on your t-shirt, shouldn't I? Just like
as a point
just
of
wear it
irony.
there.
That's it. So, this isn't a cry for help. I just don't have the jingle. So if you've got the jingles, can you do it? Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to be like going bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, dun 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 dun. Wired Unplugged. Hello, everybody. Yeah, and it was brilliant. Yeah, there's actually I had such a happy moment about a month and a half ago. Right, listen to this. I ran myself a bubble bath, and I was putting on a bit of YouTube. And I found a channel called PlayStation Demo Disc Archive on YouTube, and it's the entire.
Writing this down.
Yeah, it's just type it in like the PlayStation Demo Archive, right? And it has like because they numbered the discs, so Demo 48, and it was like Overboard and Hercules and all of these like Monkey Hero and whatever. And it was unlocking memories I didn't even know that I had, and I was like, this is, like when you catch yourself feeling happy. And you go, right now, I'm in there.
A special feeling.
I'm in a bath watching these demos from yesteryear. And I was like, this was, because you're right. I used to play, there was a game called Overboard. I never actually owned it, but I played the demo all the way through to death, and hard now.
What's that? There is a new Silent Hill game in the works. But not one, but 3.
Mm-hmm.
3, Jake.
Wow. Yes.
Get your teeth stuck into that.
I have heard about these for a long time, and it's a quite untoward thing to do because, we both work in the game industry. So you do hear things, and a lot of the time they are right. So, but you can't, it's kind of, I can't be like, oh, But I'd heard about some of these things, and they're still alleged. But now I'm thinking, okay, so now a lot of people are saying them. So let's just, I guess let's just start with this kind of preamble. This happens about once every 3 months. It's like Bloodborne 2. It's constantly getting mentioned on the internet. But what gives this a little bit more meat than usual? Well, there's been some alleged leaks of Silent Hill, a Silent Hill game set in the UK.
Just for the lawyers, that was alleged.
Alleged, absolutely. There's an alleged Silent Hill that's set in the UK, allegedly. And these alleged screenshots that leaked were, speaking of the lawyers, taken down by Konami.
Yes.
So, I don't know how this works. The pictures were uploaded and they weren't called Silent Hill. So, if Konami didn't own those pictures, they would just be random pictures on the internet and they would have no right to take them down. The only way Konami could take them down is if they owned the pictures, because that's their property. So, kind of by them taking it down, and by the way, when he did it, it was so awkward because it was like on Twitter and it said, oh, the picture's been taken down by Konami. So, that kind of proves that those pictures belong to Konami, right? Am I right in saying that?
I would say so, yeah, because they would have to lay claim over the content to be able to take it down.
The alternative is, of course, if that tweet was a picture of Mario and they said new Silent Hill leaked, but because of the context of the tweet saying this is Silent Hill, then Konami can say, we own the name Silent Hill, and this is damaging to our reputation because we are not affiliated with any Italian plumbers. So let's get this down.
Let's go.
Post haste. And then I noticed one of the things that Saved does, which is a very interesting thing, is to sort of spotlight perhaps some games that might be, of interest. Certainly in the space, right? So what can you tell me about sort of game spotlight or the related games? How does it work?
Yeah, I see it in 2 different ways, are related games and apps. And in one way, I see it as games that offer a really accurate representation of mental health, or a not negative representation of it, like it's not damaging in a sense. Because often you see a lot of the time when people will throw in characters, for example, that struggle with mental illness and make them as villains,
villainize them. Yeah,
exactly. That villainize was the word I was looking for. Make them as villains doesn't quite sound as good, but no, you get what I mean. And it's very difficult to see sometimes accurate representations of what people who actually struggle with mental illness are like. So that's kind of one of the directions that I wanted to go with the related games and apps, and that's definitely how it started. But there's also things like Calm and Dalio and lots of like little small apps or games that are really mindful and based around creating dynamics that make the player feel relaxed and get into flow, which is something that I've heard so many people talk about. Is it's not necessarily the content of the game, or well, I guess just the content. It's not necessarily all about that, but it's about how it changes your brain to think about the way that it's processing information in a way. So like Tetris, for example, has been seen on a lot of different studies being able to help patients with PTSD, because it puts their brain in a certain way that I think it was saying that they're able to process information in a healthier way, which is fascinating because you just would never picture that happening together. And so many people have said like Tetris Effect Connected. It's the combination of music and puzzle and being able to like focus on something really well, that it's just like magic. I don't know how to explain it. So that's kind of one side of it.
The mad thing is Aaron can hear it. So when we have like guests on and that, they all look dead shocked. You can go back and look at some old episodes and they're like, what the hell?
It's like, it happens as it unfolds, because we don't want Curtis being like,
Curtis does a lot.
I don't know where, I don't know where the cuts are. Yeah, exactly. They're talking too much. But no, every time, can you just play it again? This is what usually happens. All right,
okay.
This is what usually happens when it plays.
Newsweek from Google.
Yeah, if you watch the video version of the podcast on YouTube, you can always see the point where me and Aaron take a little break. We have a quick swig of our drink. We breathe. We call our loved ones, let them know that they're okay. Check in. But for the audio listeners, it's just completely flawless. And for the audio listeners, we are not going to play the jingle again, so don't worry about it. In case you have to adjust your volume every time.
This episode's really broke. So what's going on? It's Curtis editing it completely wrong.
No. Too much. It's those lawyers, you should never have mentioned that. You go and get that.
I'll be back.
It's just me and you now, Curtis. I'm just going to quickly go and blow my nose, I am, mate. I'm trying to talk about mods here. Wonder what he's got. In case you were wondering, Curtis, I'm negative. In case you were thinking, I've met Jake. Now he's ill. Look, Neggy, you're safe. Hello. I use that as an opportunity to say, Curtis is looking at this and he's thinking, Jake's ill. Oh no, but I wanted to just show him, look, I don't have COVID. So I was just talking to you, mate. Anyway, so all right. So this is the wider segment where normally Aaron brings to me. I told you this before. Normally, like a barbaric Khan, I sit in my canvas tent with the heads of my enemies surrounding me, adorned by beautiful women and men, surrounded in furs, and I just say, Aaron, news, and he brings me the news, and I just go. But this time it's not. This time I'm having to go out. I'm the hunter gatherer. So you can take the throne today, Gary, and I'll
how the turns have tabled.
I know, right? So okay, and I guess
news me, Jake.
All right,
news
well,
me.
I'll start off on a bit of a.
And I would like to say that the reason I keep looking down is because I've got like a cute animal or something like that beside me. But for those of you that are old ass crusty millennials like myself. Which is a hell of a sentence.
Yeah.
You might have also been caught by the news early this week that Blink 182 have reformed. Tom Long is back in the fold, and they've announced a world tour. Which even I'm a little bit sad because like the folks over in the US are getting the tour dates well early. They're getting them in like March next year, whereas they're not coming to London. They're not coming here until October. It's literally a year away. So I'm currently sat in a queue for pre-sale to maybe get tickets for something that is a year away. And you know what? Tom's probably going to leave the band by the time it rolls around again anyway. So who knows? But I've got to take this shot. Yeah. So I'm anxiously watching my queue number go down at the start of the show. I'll keep you all filled in as we go along.
All right. Yeah. That sounds good. Well, like last week, I was in a queue to buy my girlfriend Arctic Monkeys tickets, which was...
Were you successful?
I was successful, actually. Yeah, I didn't feel very successful when I saw the price of the tickets for Arctic Monkeys for football.
Thank you. Love you all.
Lloyd.
You're beautiful young boys. I love you.
Ah, I love you too.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
How was it?
I think we're gonna have to cut out a lot of some stuff.
Wired Unplugged.